It's the playoffs. Playoffs?
Playoffs?
Yes, playoffs. I am talking about the playoffs, the NFL playoffs, of course. So I've got 4 quarterbacks and their card values for you today.
And I'm here to tell you which cards to buy, sell, or hold.
This is the forecast. I'm so happy to be back here with you guys. I haven't talked to you guys since last year. In fact, it's been a minute, so I'm happy to be back here with you guys. It is the NFL playoffs, as I mentioned. So let's talk quarterbacks, the most important position in the NFL. We'll talk about 4 quarterbacks today and their card values. Some guys making an impact in the playoffs and some guys just making an impact in the rumor mill. So actually, let's start there. Let's start with a guy who not currently having any sort of impact in the playoffs, but he certainly is a storyline this NFL season, and that is Deshaun Watson. Now, all the rumors started circulating around Deshaun Watson. He apparently, according to Chris Mortensen of ESPN, is very disgruntled with that Texans organization. Now, I'm down here in Miami, and the Miami Dolphins are a team who has been linked to this situation. Now, we were discussing down here on sports radio before Deshaun Watson and his people, who I think are the ones who leaked out this idea that Deshaun Watson would consider Miami. Before that news even came out, we were already talking about Deshaun Watson down here. And there's a reason for that. The reason for that is that the Miami Dolphins, they have the capital. They're one of the few teams in the NFL that has something that maybe you could trade for a guy like Deshaun Watson. We're talking about a top 5 quarterback in the NFL. Top 5. I mean, everyone thinks he's a top 5, but even if you didn't think he was a top 5, he's a top 8 at worst. So those guys never become available at that position. It is unbelievable that we're talking about a top 5, arguably, quarterback being available for trade. Also, this quarterback has a no trade clause. So he holds all the power if he gets traded away from Houston. He can say, no, I'm not going there. But we did hear last week that the Dolphins are an organization he would consider going to. I think it's his people that leaked that information to the media. And frankly, it makes a lot of sense because his people know what they're doing, okay? Deshaun Watson, he knows that there's only a few teams that have what it takes to trade for him. The Dolphins have 2 first-round picks. One that's actually the Texans' pick, that 3rd pick. So the Texans would basically be getting back their pick. And then they pick also at 18 in this draft. And then, of course, they have Tua Tagovailoa. That's kind of like trading away 3 first-round picks if you include Tua in that deal. That's 3 first-round picks, so to speak, since Tua was the 5th pick in this last draft, that you know where they're at and that you can use immediately. Whereas, yes, there's other teams in the NFL, you can trade away first-round picks, but you're talking over 4 years, and you don't know where those picks are going to end up. So certainly the Dolphins deal, especially if they were to include both those first-round picks, is a much sweeter deal for the Texans. And that's the kind of haul you would need to even consider getting rid of a quarterback like Deshaun Watson. There's only one other team I can think of that's in that situation, and that's the Jets, because they also have 2 first-round picks. And I think Deshaun Watson's people maybe leak this out. Hey, we'd flirt with the Dolphins here. We have a no-trade clause. We have the ultimate say, but we would be interested in going to Miami. And also, we don't want to go to the New York Jets. Maybe it was one of those. So I think that the Jets, though, you could argue, sure, could they trade away Sam Darnold? There are NFL analysts. I know Mina Kimes is one who thinks Sam Darnold is a good quarterback. He's just on the wrong team. So you could trade away Sam Darnold and a couple first-round picks as well. But I'm not sure that Deshaun Watson wants to find himself in that situation. Also, Deshaun Watson, he did say that he's very upset with the Texans, in part because of their hiring practices, not diverse enough for him. And, of course, the Dolphins. You can't get more diverse than their hiring practices, where they're the only coach or the only team in the NFL to have a African-American coach and an African-American GM at the helm of their franchise. So that should as well appeal to Deshaun Watson. Maybe also why we're hearing the Dolphins as an organization that he could potentially land. Of course, if I'm the Texans, I'm not sure I'm trading away Deshaun Watson because, again, top 5 quarterbacks. So let's look. All these rumors are circulating. All this attention is on Deshaun Watson. The man's not even playing in the playoffs, but we all know he's a great quarterback, even if his team hasn't been so great. Let's look at what's happening here with his card value based on all of these rumors. His 2017 Optic Base PSA 10. Now, over the last 90 days, that card is up 124% in value. And if you see at the end of that chart, look at that huge spike at the end. So you're talking over a short period of time, a huge spike. That's exactly when the rumor mill got going and everyone started hearing about how unhappy Deshaun Watson was in Houston. His 2017 Prism Silver PSA 10. Let's take a look at that. Over the last 90 days, same period of time, up 87%. So Deshaun Watson's cards all reacting here. All the cards that set the market are reacting to all these rumors. So I'll give you guys one more. His 2017 Select Concourse PSA 10. Same time period, 90 days. That card is up 234% in value. So, Geoff, the hobby, it's all in on Deshaun Watson. Rumors, you're in headlines. That normally does send people on a buying spree in terms of sports cars. But what would you do, Geoff? Buy, sell, or hold?
All right, Deshaun Watson. Look, Deshaun Watson is actually one of my favorite players in the NFL. I think this guy has been classically undervalued. I think he's one of the best 3 quarterbacks in the game. This guy was a champion in college. I know the Texans have not properly built a team around him, and that is what has held his card values down. But I think that that's tragic. Deshaun Watson has been a great player. However, his cards have spiked in value in the last couple of weeks, and it's all because there are now trade rumors circulating that this guy may perhaps end up elsewhere, end up in Miami, be traded. Who knows what's going to go on? Apparently, he's a little disgruntled. But his cards have gone up as a result of that. If that doesn't come to fruition, his cards will probably go back down again this offseason. If people realize he's stuck and this blows over, which it probably will in my opinion, I think it's probably going to blow over. If you think it's going to blow over like I do, then you probably want to wait to buy his cards. Don't buy them right now. In fact, you could maybe sell them now at a high as these trade rumors are circulating. And if that doesn't come to fruition, you might be able to buy him back 60, 90 days from now at a lower price. So honestly, only because I don't believe in the trade rumors, I would sell Deshaun Watson today, but I will be a big buyer of Deshaun Watson a little bit down the road when prices come back down to earth again.
From a guy who is still beginning his career to a guy who is certainly at the tail end of his, maybe at the end of his, and I'm talking about Ben Roethlisberger, no longer making an impact in these playoffs. He did make an appearance in Super Wildcard Weekend, and Big Ben didn't look like the Big Ben that we've always known, frankly, in that game. And our lasting image of him now, coming off of this season, is him sitting on the bench crying after that loss to the Browns. Will that be the last image that we have of Ben Roethlisberger? Maybe he was crying because it was the end for him. We know Ben Roethlisberger, he's a Hall of Fame guy. He's going to be headed there when he does hang it up. But I feel like we do this with Big Ben every year. Every year we're having a conversation. Is Ben Roethlisberger done? Is he going to retire? And I think he flirts with the idea. And then he remembers that he likes money because Ben Roethlisberger is owed $41.2 million next season. That is a high in the NFL. And so if he wants to collect on that, he's going to need to keep playing. It remains to be seen whether it's about the money for him or not. He's 38 years old. It did look like in that loss last weekend that he was not playing at the same level that he was. I always get nervous though, talking about these guys in their late 30s and how they're on the decline and how much they have left in the tank. And then you have 43-year-old Brady going and throwing for the second most touchdowns he's ever thrown for the season, I think it is, in his entire career. So what do I know about age? But Big Ben is certainly toying with the decision of retiring. Let's take a look at what's happening here with his cards over the last 90 days. Now, both his 2004 Topps PSA 10 and his 2004 Topps Chrome PSA 10, they are both trending upwards. So they are both trending the right direction in the hobby. Geoff, whether he retires, whether he stays in the league, what do we do here with Big Ben's card? Buy, sell, or hold?
Big Ben. Man, didn't Big Ben just look tragically done at the end of that game the other night against the Browns? I don't know, man. A lot of his passes didn't look great. I mean, there was a lot of things that went wrong for the Steelers in that game, but Big Ben did not look very accurate. I do not know about the future of Pittsburgh right now. I'm also not a huge believer in Mason Rudolph either. I don't think he's going to come in as the hero and lead the Steelers to great things in the future either. They may have a serious rethinking of what's going on with a quarterback position in Pittsburgh. But anyway, back to Big Ben. I am not buying him right now at all because I think he's probably done. And if he's not, then maybe he comes back next year. But can we expect that much out of him? And then here's what's going to happen. He's going to kind of fade away, fade into oblivion for a little while until we get a few years down the road, and then we get to Hall of Fame voting and all that type of thing. Then all of the shine on him will be restored when he gets into the Hall of Fame. But there's no reasons to be buying his cards today. If anything, just hold, wait for the Hall of Fame stuff down the road, or maybe sell. Although, it's probably not a great time to sell his cards right now either.
So from a guy who is at the end of his career to another guy who I don't know what to do with his career at this point, and that is Carson Wentz. I don't know what's going on with Carson Wentz. Nobody knows what's going on with Carson Wentz. I'm talking about a quarterback who was in the MVP discussion in 2017. And yes, his career got derailed by injuries, but that does not explain what we saw from Carson Wentz this season and that unbelievably poor pocket presence that we saw from him as well. The Philadelphia Eagles are in a bad spot because Carson Wentz's contract is a very bad one for that organization. You can't miss on a guy who's costing you that kind of money at that position. And it's starting to feel like that's exactly what the Eagles did with Carson Wentz. The only saving grace, if you happen to be an Eagles fan out there, would be if Jalen Hurts pans out. Now, I was really big on Jalen Hurts coming out of the draft, okay? You can check the tape. I was really big on Jalen Hurts coming out of the draft. I had this crazy idea. I wanted the Dolphins to draft Tua and draft Jalen Hurts in the second round because they had so many picks that I said, you have to get that position right. And I really liked Jalen Hurts. Let's go. Let's just draft quarterbacks every round until you find your guy. Well, the Philadelphia Eagles did. I mean, they drafted a Jalen Hurts even though they thought they had a Carson Wentz. And right now, I would imagine they're very happy they did because Jalen Hurts looks like a better option than Wentz, even though Wentz is costing you all the money. You would think, though, with all the negativity surrounding Carson Wentz. Now, Doug Peterson, of course, he just got let go from the Eagles. Man, how the mighty have fallen, right? I mean, just a few years ago. It's amazing. But Doug Peterson gets fired from the Eagles. Is that going to help the Carson Wentz situation and to figure it out? Do they need to try to move on from Carson Wentz? Would it even be possible to trade away that contract? All this negativity right now around this Philadelphia organization, you would think it's having a very negative impact on Carson Wentz's card. So let's take a look at the price chart because I found this really surprising and I think you guys will as well. His 2016 Prism Silver PSA 10. That's actually what we're looking at over here. And I know you're surprised as you're looking at this chart with me because you're seeing the lines and you're seeing this incline and you're very confused. And frankly, I am as well. But over the last 90 days, this card is up 53% in value. Over the last 90 days, this card is up 53% in value. So it appears that Carson Wentz in the hobbyists are not deterred. That Carson Wentz is still a card that people value in the hobby, even if he's had his struggles right now, even if he's involved in all these rumors right now, and even if that situation in Philadelphia seems like a very, very difficult one. So Geoff, what do I do with this, with Carson Wentz's cards right now? Do I buy them, sell them, or hold them?
All right, now a lot of you out there might be thinking this could be a sneaky time to buy Carson Wentz's cards because it looks like Philly's moved on beyond him. Yet they've just fired their coach. Maybe their future staff will really give him a chance again and elevate him back in. Maybe he'll connect better with their future staff. Maybe this is a sign that he'll get another chance. If not, then maybe he'll be traded or cut and land with another team that is willing to give him a chance. So some of you might be saying, well, maybe now's the time to buy Carson Wentz. But here's the thing. his card prices haven't dropped at all. If you compare where his cards are now to where they were 90 days ago, when people still had hope that he might do something with Philadelphia this past season, his card prices are actually up a little bit since that point in time. So this is not a buy low opportunity on Carson Wentz, because there is no low to be buying right now. His cards have actually gone up. So I don't know. I don't believe in this. I would sell Carson Wentz's cards right now.
Now, we talked about Big Ben crying on the sidelines after losing to the Browns last weekend. Let's talk about the guy who put him in that position, and that's Baker Mayfield, leading the Browns to that victory. The first one in 18 years, the first appearance there in the postseason. And Baker Mayfield, he is very responsible for that. It seems like Cleveland finally has their guy. Now, we didn't know he comes into the league 2018. You're the number one pick. There's high expectations. 2018, we didn't really know if he's good. 19, we're not really sure if he's good. 20, I don't even know for part of the season. Is he going to pan out? We were very careful with the Baker Mayfield situation, and then he got them into the postseason. And everyone bought in on Baker Mayfield. And then he went out there without a head coach, with quite a few people in their organization in the COVID-19 protocols, and they won that game, and they moved on in the playoffs. And so I think at this point, we can say that Baker Mayfield has a bright future in the NFL. I know Browns fans are probably nervous to put their money where their mouth is in that regard, because they've been through so much, but it does seem like he is that dude for them. So let's take a look at what's happening here with his cards. Are people in the hobby buying in? His 2018 Prism PSA 10. Over the last 90 days, that card is up 49% in value. And you can see at the end of this chart, that huge spike at the end. So I would imagine these cards continue to go up even more. And when you're looking at these charts, what you're seeing here, notice that U-shaped rebound from his prices from a couple weeks ago, where you see that they were declining and then bam, they start going back up at the end of the season when he's performing well, and here into the postseason, and now you're getting a huge bump in the hobby in his cards. Let's take a look at his 2018 Optic PSA 10. Now, over the last 90 days, that card is up 60%. This one, you see the little dips down, but this one's a bit more consistent on its incline, and that card is also up 60%. So people in the hobby, they are reacting. They like Baker Mayfield. They also seem to think that he's the real deal. So how about you, Geoff? Buy, sell, or hold?
Hey, congratulations, Baker Mayfield. Congratulations on getting rid of some of the haters out there who don't really respect you, and getting it done against the Pittsburgh Steelers and giving the Browns their first playoff win in many, 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 many years. I mean, it's good job, man. Good job to you, Baker Mayfield. But am I buying your cards right now? No, I am not, because you've got a date this next weekend with the Kansas City Chiefs and Patrick Mahomes, and I do not think that date is going to end well for you. So there is a lot of people excited about you this week. There are going to be people buying your cards this week. Your card prices are going to be going up this week, and I think they may get freight train next week after Patrick Mahomes does what I think he is going to do to you this weekend. So Baker Mayfield, in my opinion, this right now, like this week, like today, is actually a pretty darn good time to sell.
So there you have it. Thank you so much for joining me. It's really good to be back. I missed you guys over the last few weeks. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, please do so. You hit the bell icon. It's super easy. It doesn't cost you anything. It's free. You ain't got nothing to lose. So please do it. It is the NFL playoffs. We will have plenty more NFL, plenty more NBA. We are here for all of your sports card information. Of course, all the card charts today are available at Market Movers app. You definitely want to check that out. It's where I get my information. Go get it yourself as well. Join me again next Thursday. Geoff will be back with more content for you on the channel on Sunday. And of course, as always, guys, happy investing.